All right, it says we're broadcasting. I ain't saying it yet, but and it looks like we are live.
Everybody go quiet.
Yep. Okay. And get Restream chat on so I can hear from people on all the many different platforms that we broadcast live to.
I'm still a little leery of turning my Restream and StreamYard on.
Why?
I see it as kind of like turning on a giant ass spotlight. And I'm not quite there yet.
Well, you're not Batman.
How do you know?
I mean, think about it. Have you ever seen him and Batman in the same place at the same time?
How do I know? Let's see. Bruce Wayne was fucking filthy rich. There's that.
And I plead the fifth.
All right, gentlemen, we are live.
Oh shit.
Real quick, I'm gonna go over the couple rules. No isms, no racism, sexism, or discrimination. We want others to respect us. We're going to respect them. Excuse me. We do try and steer clear of politics and religion. We do make an honest effort to do that. I didn't say we were successful. I just said we try. No interruptions when someone is talking. Don't interrupt, especially with some of the TBIs we have in here, because you derail that train, it takes a while to get it back on track. No diagnosing. Nobody here is licensed to do that, I believe, at this point. And even if you are, this is not the time or place. We do encourage therapy. Just opening up and talking in the group is therapeutic. And a lot of people, when they have been ready, have gone on to professional therapy with great results. So there we go.
Now, I thought we edited the intro to include that isms are allowed against squirrels.
Yeah, we could pick on the squirrels.
Okay.
The four-legged kind.
Fuckers always running off with the topic.
Well. All right. So real quick, let's do our check-in. Jeremy, you're up.
Plead the fifth. Move on to the next person, please.
John, how about you?
I'm green.
Green? Good.
Green, yep.
Green is always good. TJ, how about you?
How you doing, man? I'm good. Long day,
Fine.
tired, but figured I'd stop in for a little bit. But I'm green.
Yeah, I get tired. I've been falling asleep all day. Charles, how are you? Red, yellow, green? He might not be able to talk. I think he's working. Yeah, we're going to go with he's at work. So he is probably just going to be listening in tonight. But that's okay. DJ, look what I picked up over the weekend. No, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah, I can't see that.
It's so pretty.
Hang on.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
You're gonna put your eye out with that thing.
50-50 chance. Yes.
Hey, as long as it ain't got fishnets on it, we're good.
I'm I'm I think at least bordering on green, if not green.
Good.
Uh,
How was the ride up to the Poconos?
the ride up was the GPS lied. It took 3 hours, not 2. I think that was mainly because of the traffic, because the ride home was 2 hours. But it was relatively uneventful. I think we got up there right around 5. I didn't have to backtrack or anything, so I was pretty happy. Cabin. House was really nice. He's not on here, but Steve made dinner on Friday night. He brought up corned beef and cabbage with potatoes. They had some kind of chicken finger things. They I don't think they were very good. I didn't try them, but they threw a lot of them out at the end of the night. So I'm going to go with they weren't spectacular. The bonfire was nice. I got some really nice pictures of the bonfire. Let me see if I could throw the link in there. Anytime today.
Do 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 do.
And I think my T-Mobile may not be quite as fast as Comcast was. But on the upside, it doesn't drop on me all the time. So
Give and take relationship.
well, I'll tell you what, it has only crashed one time, and it was really not T-Mobile's fault. It was where it was plugged in, the dog could get to it and he pulled the plug out. All right. Those are a variety of pictures. I took some of the other guys sent me. So I threw them up there so we can all have at them. There's a couple of videos in there. There's one of the videos with the ATV where it looks like we rolled over. We didn't. And I did eventually tell my wife we didn't really roll over because she was not happy. She told me I need to forget about Project Refit retreats and find an old man retreat where I can keep up.
Might I recommend the VA Winter Sports Clinic?
No, we don't. I don't do winter sports.
Oh, neither do I, but they have enough adaptations that, yeah, I'll do it. Fun.
I had fun. I honestly, I only had one incident over the entire weekend. I fell once. Um, and I will concede I'm a little unsteady on my feet, but the reason I fell was because it was dark and I tripped. And uh, I would like to say I didn't get hurt, but we will go with I didn't get hurt very badly at all. I just got a couple little scrapes, so it was okay. I kept up with the young guys, more or less. Of course, I
See,
slept
the
most of the day today, but you know,
Winter Sports Clinic, they encouraged us, if you think you're gonna wreck, own it. If you think you're gonna crash, own it.
well, I went down and I heard, "Are you okay?" And I said, give me a couple minutes. I'll get up." And I heard somebody go, "No, you stay there. I'm coming over." Because we did have a couple EMTs there. So
That's pretty convenient.
well,
See,
you got a bunch of broken and disabled vets. You probably do need an EMT on site. Just saying. For who else was here that was there? Charles. I saw Sean today. He's doing much better. He said he's probably not going to be in tonight, but he's okay. So
What happened with Sean?
just I don't know, something between the ATVs and the number of people. He just kind of had a meltdown and decided it would be better if he just went home. So he came out to my church tonight for a little bit to get some soup. And I talked to him. He's probably listening. I talked to him. He's doing okay. He just, needs a little time alone to regroup.
Yeah, it
And
makes
He's
sense.
been going through a lot. There's been
yeah,
a lot going on over
it's-
those 2 weeks. Wow.
yeah, he said, but he needs a little time to regroup. And I get it. I mean, probably most of us get it. We've been there. Unfortunately, he did miss me face planting. So I guess a real buddy would have offered to fall again for him, but nah.
Next time, right?
Oh, I'm sure there will be a next time too. But it's all good. At the end of the day, it was a good event. It was a lot of fun. I think a fair amount of healing went on. And that's important.
Definitely important.
I didn't take a lot of pictures. I don't know. That probably means it was a good event because I just was more distracted by the event and more of a participant than somebody standing toward the outside document and everything. Which is kind of a change for me. So there is one. I don't know if I can put it in there or not. Now, let me see. Yeah, I think it does it now.
Yeah.
Jimmy Dean.
You came up from Virginia.
Yeah.
Is JP able to make it with him?
No. No, he was not. Jimmy Dean ran solo. And he is everything you would expect him to be in person. And I say that only because I mean it in a good way. But yeah, he did make it, so that was nice. Steve was there. Corbett was there. The blank screen over on the left side. Well, it's on the left side of mine. He was there. A few other people that I had never met before. And I'm still trying to get names and faces matched up. This is after the ATV where a lot of mud on me, but that was okay. It was worth it. Probably got a stock photo for the fireside chats out of this.
Nice.
But yeah, it was definitely a very good time. And in another corner of the country heard from. We'll let her get on and see how she's doing, and then we'll throw your topic out at you. There we go. How you doing, Julia?
I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there. How are you?
Good. So, after the retreat, because of a lot of things that happened, were discussed, when you get hit by the load of garbage that we all carry, what do you do to deal with it?
Me or everybody?
Everybody. Open topic. You want to go first?
Well, this is live stream, so I guess I'm limited.
You don't have to go first. You don't have to talk at all if you don't want.
I use medical marijuana. That's what I do. And if I'm like in the middle of a panic attack, like I have to honestly talk myself down. You know, I gotta use my senses. I gotta tell myself I am peace. I am calm. Because, you know, I get that initial reaction where it's hard to pop out of there, if you will. I feel like I'm just stuck in this cage and I need to like get out and breathe. And so I have to do those things to myself in my head or say them out loud and just calm down first.
And that works for you.
It has so far, but you know what I also did was I relocated, like you guys know, from California to Texas, and I got my 100% today as well, and they gave me 100% just for PTSD alone. So I also have like other disabilities that I've claimed too, and they've given me a percentage for as well. But it feels really good for them to at least acknowledge that I have a life that is 100%, I feel, affected by PTSD.
And just so you understand, the reason I asked if that works for you, I noticed different people have different coping mechanisms.
The relocation helped, man, a lot.
What works for you might not work for John or me or somebody else. And so the more important question is, you know, that works for you is, are you happy with how it works? Are you looking for something better, or are you like, this works, I'm just staying right here and letting it work?
I feel like for me, but I also feel like I was this way in life. Like I have a well-rounded way of doing that. You know, for instance, I see you guys. Remember, I used to do it a lot more frequently.
Mhm.
And since then I've been working on, you know, getting my 100% and now I've got it. But I also, no, don't go. I also, I meet a group of gentlemen here in Amarillo, and they used to be at the PTSD group at the VA until they stopped the groups during the pandemic. And so
Yeah.
now they meet on their own. So I do that as well. They meet every other week for breakfast. I take my son because my daughter's at school. And, you know, like I said, the medical marijuana and just trying to avoid triggers, really, because that's what happened with the move from California to Texas. Is I feel like at the very least, my time is free. You know, nobody's knocking on my door trying to enforce a visitation order. Nobody's, you know, threatening to arrest me. Nobody's harassing me. You know, all these triggers that I had in California are not here. So that's what works as I got to get a little bit everywhere. Because if I don't consistently keep acknowledging PTSD and keep dealing with it in my life, I mean, it's like laundry, you know, before you know it, I'll just be overloaded and overwhelmed.
Yeah, I was talking to my wife tonight, and the subject of, do you ever get over it, came up. And I said, I don't think that you do. I think you just learn to deal with it in better ways.
Agreed.
I know the medical marijuana, Jeremy, you know, that made a huge difference to him.
Nice.
Why you got to bring me into this?
Because I don't like you hiding in the corner all the time. I mean, literally the upper left-hand corner of my screen.
That just means I'm number one.
Yep. But yeah, I don't know that medical marijuana would be for me. I've had a couple people suggest that I should try it, but I don't think I want to do that. But I've seen enough good results from it to you know, accept that, you know, it is working for a lot of people.
So should I admit to who I actually am? Hi, my name's Staff Sergeant Jeremy Daniels, medically retired Staff Sergeant, United States Army, after a decade suffering from chemically induced multiple sclerosis, along with a barrage of other neurological and chemically induced issues. Have done ample research and study and have been a medical marijuana patient since 2010. Quit using medical marijuana in 2014 because, well, yeah, I'm not giving up my gun rights for something that works better than all pharmaceuticals. I was on 25 different medications from the VA for all my issues. I am now on 0 and actually doing better now than I was before. The cysts in both nasal pharynx and in my spinal canal or spinal cord and brain have all reduced in size. Thankfully, I've regained my eyesight. So yeah, any medical issue, I would refer any medical patient to please talk to a bud tender or medical marijuana grow op for options that could help your physical ailments. I've known people from cancer patients to MS to epilepsy, going back to when my mother was a cancer patient back in 1991 for cancer. this stuff has been being prescribed on the sideball as alternative medications for north of 3 decades.
That sounds about right.
So I highly recommend it, but everybody's different. How something affects me could affect somebody else different. It's all trial and error. Epidemiology and the chemical makeup of plants, there's too many different varieties to say anything for certain. But you can get on a great track to make your life better.
And at the end of the day, that's the result we want.
Yep.
How about you, John? Do you have anything?
No, I have no
Thanks.
comments on this topic. I
Okay.
don't think I have anything I can add to it.
I know probably my biggest issue was for a long time, I wouldn't admit there was anything wrong. You can't do anything about the problem if you won't acknowledge the problem. But what I did do was go to Comic-Cons. That was, and if I wasn't at a Comic-Con, I was home sitting at my computer staring at my screen for a long time. Little self-isolation, I guess. And now I am definitely more open to going out, doing things, interacting more with people. What got me there also brought different problems, like a lot of loss of self-control resulting in anger issues. But overall, I think I'm doing a lot better. I am working on the self-control end. Physical issues are the physical issues, and there's not really a lot I could do to deal with them other than try and do what the doctors tell me. The retreat weekend, I did take one fall. It's not because I'm not steady on my feet, although if I had been more steady on my feet, I probably wouldn't have. I'd have probably been able to get control of myself before I hit the ground, but I did trip and take one fall, and I immediately said, I'm fine. I wasn't, but I mean, it wasn't bad. I thought I was fine. I didn't realize I had, scraped a couple patches on my leg, but I mean, that was like, the worst part of it, besides the embarrassment. But I had said before, I will admit to being broken, even though the therapists, and I know a couple other guys said the same thing. Their therapist said not to use that terminology. You're not broken, but broken is the best description. And I will say it again. I think the reason they don't want us to use the term broken is because that implies that we can be fixed. And I don't think we can be fixed. I think we can learn to live with how we are. I think we can get better. I think we're going to have good days and bad days like everybody else. And work on dealing with the issues that we have going forward. But, you can't turn back time and take away trauma. You can't always cure somebody's injury. So, broken, What was the nursery rhyme? Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Yeah, we don't get put back together the way we were before. A few very lucky people, I think, get put back together better. But most of us just learned to deal with the hand we're dealt and what we need to do to, just live our best life. I mean, I've had my photography studio for, I don't know, I guess 4 or 5 years now, and I have never made a profit. I didn't really even care whether I made a profit. I just wanted some place to go and be able to do what I love. And I didn't really look for a whole lot. Now I go out of my way to do certain jobs. I photograph the veterans at the Violent Home every year and make sure every one of them gets an 8x10 for free. I do a lot of photography for Project Refit. I do a lot of photography work for my DAV chapter in the state DAV. And that's kind of my therapy. And it works for me. I think if I gave somebody else a camera and said, go out and take a lot of pictures, it's not going to help them, but it helps me. So, we each got to do what works for us. So that was pretty quick. We all tapped out on that subject. Anybody have a backup topic we could hit?
Can I not try and be mean? What was the topic?
How do you deal with the issues that we have developed? What works for you?
My disability keeps getting in the way. Otherwise, I'd say grab a microphone at some karaoke joint or radio broadcast and open my mouth.
And that may happen again.
You don't know how much I've been trying to avoid. I gave up my karaoke and media production business licensing back in 2016. So you're at Social Security age, right?
Me?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I was getting disability before Social Security. I just aged out of disability. So,
well, you understand how much are we allowed to make?
Oh, I can make anything I want now because I'm not on disability. I'm getting full Social Security.
When you were on disability, how much were you restricted to?
It was less than $1,000 a month.
Right now, last I knew, it was up to 11 or 1,200, meaning I can basically make $1,000 and that's it. Yeah. Do anything with media or audio, and yeah, you can't do that. I did one wedding and still had to give the money back.
Well, I think there's workarounds for that too.
right now. Unfortunately, having TBI, can't risk even getting involved because, did I put my socks on this morning?
Well, I know that while it is not quite the amount of gear that I have to carry, that is now an issue for me. So I usually bring somebody with me when I do a job, and they just get a cut of whatever I'm doing right off the top.
See,
So
I've tried to find people that I've told people, hell, you can have 80%. Yeah, try and find people who are interested and are reliant.
Yeah.
yeah, that is sometimes a problem.
Somebody wants to work.
Well,
Ooh, 4-letter word.
I bring my grandson with me a lot, and he is a teenager, which has a whole set of issues all on its own. And I did one job, and he helped me set up, and then he was gone, man. There was a girl there he spent the whole day hanging out with, and they came back at lunchtime, so because they weren't allowed to leave the exhibit hall without letting me know, so they came back at lunchtime so we can all go get lunch, and I don't blame him. I mean, it's not. He did Fan Expo with me last year, and he got me set up, made sure I was okay, and then he was out, doing video the rest of the day there, and the last show I went to, I had to bring another photographer because he wasn't available, and that worked out pretty good. He's never done anything with cosplay photography before, but he he's has a good head on his shoulder, and I got some pictures of me doing my thing, which is very rare, so I like that. But I spent a long time not doing and not pushing because I just didn't care, and it didn't seem like it was worth the effort. And now I get hollered at all the time because I try and do too much. But before I had settled down, was kind of just waiting to die, and now I'm not in such a hurry anymore, and I want to do things until I can't. I think that is a corner that a lot of us, when we turn that corner, I think that's when a lot of us start to really heal. And I'm not saying, you may turn the corner and have a setback, but I think when you turn that corner, that's when things start to really change.
Hey, Bruno, do you ever use a thing called Vettix?
Yeah, see, the problem I have with them is if I'm not getting paid to photograph sports, I could care less about sports. I did get tickets. They did give me tickets to a Phillies game, and I brought my wife, my father-in-law, and my brother-in-law because they're all huge Phillies fans. But Vettix, you have to go with them.
Right.
So I had to go to that stupid game, and I don't deal well with extreme heat or extreme cold. So it was really cold. And like colder than we thought it was going to be. So we were really not dressed quite appropriately for the weather. And, but I could deal with the cold better than I could deal with the heat. Once it starts going above 80, I start going into congestive heart failure and getting dizzy and, maybe passing out. So outdoor sports are not really a good plan for me, so to speak.
I was asking because VetTix is how I've gotten all my concert tickets, my Comic-Con tickets, all the different events I've gone through VetTix.
Yeah, I never thought about them for Comic-Cons because
Anything, get in your preferences, and they have literally any event going on, they have tickets.
yeah, I am kind of self-limiting myself to, or trying to self-limit myself to 2 Comic-Cons a month. Because it just takes me so long to recover from them. Like it'll be Wednesday or Thursday before I recover from that retreat. And the ones that I go to, I'm usually have a media pass, or I'm a guest photographer, and so I don't really need VetTix for that.
From what I understand, VetTix is primarily for events in your area.
Yeah, they
If
do
you
Eagles.
live near Disney, if you live near Disney, then it might apply to Disney. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm sure if you told them you were going to Disney and there was tickets available, but yeah, like the big Comic Cons here, the biggest one, which I'm still waiting on media access for this year. I haven't gotten it yet, but I expect to. Is Fan Expo, which is like $65 a day to get into that. Most of the other ones, the smaller ones, I could afford to pay if I wanted to go. But like J1 Con, I get media pass. And not only do I get a media pass, they give me space to set up lights in the background so I can have the cosplayers come to me instead of walking around killing my knees chasing them down. Black Label Con, same thing. Wild Con, they give me space. Nerd Fest, I get space.
And you said Black Label Con's moved out here?
Well, the guy that runs it is in Vegas. Eric Cooper. He is coming back to Jersey for the second. I think this will be the 4th Black Label Con. Would have been the 5th or 6th if it wasn't for COVID. But it may not stay in Jersey because he's in Vegas now. So this one was already started when he moved. So he's coming back here for this one. But the next one might be in Vegas. So that now gives me 2 reasons to visit Las Vegas.
Well, and you have full access to my studio, sir.
But yeah, I told him to look you up on Facebook. He
danger, Will Robinson, danger.
I think you and him would get along. I think you and he would get along.
I don't know. Does he like calling out loopholes?
I've seen him call out a few. I mean, not on the scale you're working on, but
see, there's no scale to a loophole. A loophole's a loophole.
Well, you may believe that, but I think there is a big difference between, me suggesting that a higher up I work with pull his head out of his ass, so to speak, over a bad policy and bringing to light a national problem with God knows how many people are going to be affected by it when it does get resolved.
7.53 million. Oh, sorry.
He's already counted how many people.
I've warned people. My old job used to be paperwork. And with what I've posted of qualifications, yeah, I'm the you don't want to fuck with me paperwork guy. In certain areas.
But yeah, it's life does get interesting sometimes.
Yeah, I just really like to stop hitting all the stupid stops in life. I mean, come on now. Divorced twice before I was 28.
Yeah, see, I got no frame of reference for that.
I blame Jody.
I blame my wife because she got me at first sight. She knows it, so divorce is not my future. She may have to kill me one day, but she'll never divorce
me. Destruction of plausible deniability. Well played, sir.
Nah. If anything, she worries about me too much.
Okay, anybody else think Bruno should get smacked in the back of the head for that statement? Raise your hand.
Listen, I have learned over the past couple of years that there are certain things that I am just never going to say again. I am never going to say I need a wife and not a mother, because that did not work out well.
I just went on the VetTix site and they seem to have tickets for Disneyland, but you need to log in to get all the specific information.
Yeah, I get emails from them all the time, concerts and shows and
No, nothing matters. They got me into Royal Rumble one year.
That's the best.
For the dumb kid that was down for wrestling back in the early 90s, I got to go to the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
Bucket list complete.
oh, there you go. But yeah, I'm learning to how did she put it? I am trying to learn and live within my new limits. And it's interesting because the limits seem to change all the time. Sometimes they change for the better. But yeah, they always seem to change. So we adapt and overcome. Or faceplant, as the case may be.
I'm still a fan of option 3. No face planning. None of that stuff. Screw it. I'm going to go a different direction. If there's no door, I'll make one.
Well, that's what I told my wife. I said, I understand I have limits. I have new limits. She said, and how do you ascertain what those limits are? Run into them head first at full speed. Got the look. Hey, it's been working so far. So
Since I got my wheelchair made out of titanium, I'm good. If it becomes a real problem, I'll break out the tank chair.
Is that your new chair? Did you ever get fitted for the new chair?
Oh, fuck no. I'm still rolling around in the one from 2016.
Oh, man.
it's made out of titanium. It's going to outlast him.
No. The frame is made out of titanium. All the nuts and screws and bolts, those are just regular aluminum. They're all wearing out.
Oh, that was a design flaw.
Absolutely. Hey, but job security.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, I'm finding a lot of shortcuts for job security in a lot of things.
Well, my thing now is I keep trying to pare down the weight of what I carry as much as I can. And not because if I don't, I won't be able to do stuff, but because it just makes it easier on me. So at some point, probably in about 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to have to make a run to New York up to Adorama because I want to get a Canon RP since it weighs about half as much as the camera I use now.
Which one do you use?
I have a D80 and a D7 or 70D and an 80D. And that translates into about 3 or 4 lenses I have to carry. And if I get the RP, the camera body is smaller, it's mirrorless, it's a lot lighter, it's a full frame, so I don't need 3 lenses. I just need one really good zoom. One thing that really surprises me about camera manufacturers is if you're going to go to a fully digital camera that's not mirrorless, why they don't just build the thing from scratch and not worry about this is what we expect the camera to look like. Okay, Julia. It was nice of you to stop in. Glad you're doing well.
Thanks a lot, you guys. I hope to see you guys soon.
You got it.
Have a
We're
good
here
night.
every
You guys
Monday.
take care.
Every
Thank
Monday
you.
and Friday.
And Friday.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Night.
Yeah, the RP is smaller. It's lighter. Full frame is much better for low light.
I got
So
a
you're going
few
to New
cameras
York to-
just. Oh, Go ahead,
Jeremy and
John.
Yeah, you're going to New York to a store up there,
Adorama.
Adorama?
Yeah. I'm going to try Unique Camera too. I got to get back to them. And Adorama gave me a written offer. I mean, it's subject to inspection of the gear. But I'll be in that ballpark, and I want to see if Unique Camera can, you know, get me in the same ballpark because they're right in Philly.
And you compare it to an 80D? Or better than an 80D?
The RP, yeah, oh,
Yeah.
definitely. The RP is
Well, how do you
Uh,
compare it to the 90D?
I don't have a 90. I have been told that if you have an 80, it's probably not really worth it to trade it in to go to the 90. There's not a lot of difference between the two. But I mean, do I
I have a 90. I'm just wondering, is the RP better than the 90?
depends what you want to do with it. The video on it is a lot better. Like I said, it's a full frame. So and it's funny because the number of megapixels is not much different from the the 80 and the 90 to the full frame, but because they're spread out more, you get a better low light response. So you get an increased ISO range with less artifacts.
Okay.
And they also make it's priced a lot higher, but they also make an RP that is designed for video, the vloggers and all them.
See, I went with the 90D because it was it was a decent amount of accessories and lenses and everything for the price point.
Yep. It's a mid-range camera. If I went with a 90D, the only thing I would need to swap out would be camera bodies, because all my lenses, all my accessories and all would work on the 90. If I go to an RP, that means new batteries, new lenses. So it's a little bit more expensive proposition up front. However, my lights, my triggers and everything would all still be
All
good.
cross compatible.
As long as it's Canon. And I found out, I did not know it, but because when you buy a flash trigger, you buy it for the specific camera brand that you're using.
Right.
And I thought that it wouldn't work at all on another brand. But the Flashpoint, I have three Flashpoint triggers. Two of them are also controllers for the lights. And the trigger will work on I at least on a Sony, because I saw somebody do it. The guy told me, he says, no, it'll work on my Sony. Because we were at a job and I said, if I'd let you use my lights, but the trigger's not going to work right on it. I have another trigger that is generic, but it doesn't let you control the lights. So you'd still need to use this trigger. Just use the other one on the camera and hold the trigger to control the lights. And he said, no, that'll work. And I'm like, really? The only thing it won't do is through the lens metering of the light with the flash, unless it's with a Canon. But it will trip the lights and everything correctly, and you can control the lights from the trigger. It's just some of the real high-end functions that I don't use anyway. So, it gives me, if I did buy something other than a Canon, which I doubt I would, I'm very comfortable with Canon. Yeah, I could still probably use those triggers.
So you'd be all set for your, am I on? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you- I
that's the
mean-
problem with it.
Yeah.
You know, everything is proprietary anymore.
Oh, yeah. Like you said, a full frame versus the, what do they call the other?
Crops. Mine's a crop called a crop sensor.
Crop,
It's
yeah.
it's 1.6, I think. So everything is. I mean, they're still basing everything off basically what was it like if this was a 35 millimeter, what would you
Right.
have?
Okay.
And with a full frame camera, if you have an 18 to 200 zoom lens,
Yep.
it's 18 to 200.
Okay.
With a crop sensor, it's 38 to 320, I think. So you lose a little bit on the wide angle side, but you pick up a little bit on the telephoto side.
Go for the
So-
macromedia.
So what happens is most people that are shooting with a crop sensor don't have a true wide angle. Now, I bought an 8 to 16 Sigma lens for my camera. So that makes it basically a 12 to 32 wide angle, which is pretty darn good. Because when you change sensors on your camera, you have to change your lenses too. A lens which is designed for a crop sensor camera will not work on a full frame camera. A lens designed for a full frame camera will work on a crop sensor though. So had I been really smart, I would have gotten the lenses for the full frame cameras and they would still be good when I moved up to full frame, but they're more expensive. So it's like you save money here, you spend it somewhere else. It's, I guess in the long run, it probably all balances out.
You get your lenses from the same place in New York?
No, actually I got my 18 to 300 from Amazon.
Oh, okay.
I got my 18 to 200 from Adorama. And I got the 8 to 16 from a private party.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the guy went from a crop sensor to a full frame,
Mhm.
and the lens was no good to him. And I got it for like, it's a $1,200 lens. I think I paid $500 for it.
My neighbors told me about some site for local people, local photographers. They trade and sell equipment. I don't have the name of it. But he buys stuff through there. You know, it's photographer to photographer.
Yeah, I
Moving
get
on.
a little leery about like buying
Yeah.
some stuff.
Yep.
If it's like I just bought a new on-camera flash. I had one. It was the Flashpoint. It has square head, but I got a chance to try out the one with the round head, and it's so much nicer. And those flashes are about $300-400. And I bought a used one from Adorama for a couple hundred. I'm gonna save a couple $100 buying it. I'd say 400 if I didn't buy it. But you know, the price was right. It was used, and Adorama guarantees their used stuff. So I bought 1, 2, 3. I have 5 Adorama studio type flashes. 2 Flashpoint, 3 Godox. I had bought a 4th Godox from them, and it arrived and it was broken, and they just took it back, no questions asked, and replaced it. You know, so I'm pretty happy with you know, I'm comfortable getting something used from them. You buy something off eBay, you know, you're running
Yeah.
a little risk.
Yeah.
Go brand new.
Mm.
So if I can get a used Canon RP or an R from Adorama, I'll buy it because I'll still get a warranty with it, and you know, save to 25-30% off the price of a new one.
I keep getting told to get a Sony R9.
I only have one problem with Sony cameras, and it is not something that would affect you buying one. For some ungodly reason, people that use Sony cameras are more likely to be camera snobs than anybody else.
100% agree. The
It
only
was like-
reason the person is recommending that camera is they are a videographer, not photographer. They recommend for photography Nikon.
And you know, and there's nothing wrong with Nikon. There's nothing wrong with Sony. There's nothing wrong with Fuji. Honestly, whatever you want to buy, when you get into a certain price point, it's all good quality gear. My thing is, whatever you're going to buy, go somewhere where you can pick one up and see what it feels like. You know, and if you're looking at 2 or 3 different brands, and you know, Best Buy happens to have all 3 of them, pick them up and see what they feel like in your hands. And if you pick one of them up and you're like playing with it and it feels good and you're like, this is the one, then that's the one. And I don't care what brand it is.
You mean
went
I should have
Canon.
kept that Kodak?
Hey, if that's what you're most
I still
comfortable
got
with,
it here.
Hey,
I
I
still
was
have
a
a
killer with a
Kodak.
fuck.
Yeah.
I was a killer with the Kodak that actually popped out the picture right out the front. I was killer with that one.
I think I still have it around. I have a Kodak DC-10, which was one of the first quote unquote professional digital cameras available. And it is not anywhere near half as good as my iPhone today. And
1.3 megapixel.
what made it a professional quote unquote camera was the fact that you could sync a flash to it, which almost none of the digital cameras to that point did. And you could adjust your f-stop.
What was the brand that had the digital camera that you could just take the photo and then set the camera down on it? It only held like 5 pictures. Was it a Compact or an HP? Early 2000s.
You mean the docking tray? You were set the camera in the docking tray?
Yeah.
Kodak made one, the Easy Share.
Yep, that's the one. That's the one I took to Iraq in 03.
Yeah, I don't think we have peaked yet on where we're going to end up with all the digital cameras, but you're not going to see the massive breakthroughs like you used to for a while.
Oh, come on. Ready Player One, Skynet. I've seen the
Listen.
movie. They got the technology. Oculus, come on now.
I did photograph the concert we went to, and I used my iPhone, and I impressed myself with the quality of these pictures coming out of an iPhone.
I've
I mean,
taken all the photos that I've taken from cons and stuff. Those are all on phones.
Some of the phones are getting pretty darn good. They're gonna give photographers a run for their money. If you had I think a selection of lenses, and you had some more controls, you'd have people shooting weddings with their iPhone.
Now, didn't they put out lens kits and stuff that clip onto the phones?
Yeah, there's some drawbacks to them. Not as sharp. And you might not be able to put the camera in a case if you're using one of them, because the case might make the camera too big for the thing to fit right. Because I bought my wife a set of lenses for her iPhone, and she can't have the camera in a case to use them, which I think is a big issue. But I mean, I did some decent work. The biggest, if you want to call it that, the biggest problem with using iPhones and real low-end digital cameras is that everybody that has one thinks they have become a master photographer. And
Yeah.
that is definitely not the case.
And the next contestant is
Rose.
Hi,
5-0.
We
Hey,
have
Rose.
not seen you in a fast minute. How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Red, yellow, green, purple?
Probably a little yellow, but it seems to be the constant.
Hey, it's better than red.
Oh yeah, I'm not
How's
red.
Billy?
He's good. He's happy-go-lucky Billy.
Mm.
As long as he gets to eat, he's good.
Kids behaving, or you still want to
Yeah, he's
smack him in the back of the head?
Oh no. I just take food from him.
No, I mean your kids. I said, are they behaving, or do you still want to smack them both in the back of the head?
Mm-mm. Still won't smack them, but they're all right. They Frankie's looking for a job. Jenna's doing good.
That's good.
Something about her, she goes through her moments.
Yeah, my son started his new job. Seems to love this one.
Frankie's just a junior in high school. You kind of can't do anything with him. He's going to be what he is right now.
You know what the problem with kids that age is? They think they know everything and that they have all the answers.
Take the words out of my mouth, man. Yeah. They got
He
it all
doesn't
figured out.
though. I have to say he's pretty humble and he listens a lot. He's just really spontaneous, I guess, is he doesn't think everything through. I think that's more of a male trait than anything. Because
I would like to
they-
argue that point, but I can't.
I second that
not
argument.
even, yeah, it's not even that he doesn't want to think it through. It's just sometimes things happen and he just squirrel.
Yeah, that is, I think that is definitely a male trait.
I resemble that remark. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Exactly. He hurt his hand. He squished he was closing a door, but he was talking to a girl. And squished his finger in the door. And she locked the car. So his pinky is in the door. The door is all
the
the way
door is locked.
closed, and the door locks. And he can't catch his breath to say anything. For like, I don't know, a few seconds, and at least it's not broken. It's just
You
fractured.
should let him know that that is probably the least painful encounter he will ever have with the opposite sex in the long run.
Every man,
I
hang your
resemble
head
that
in
remark.
shame.
I resemble that remark.
Mm.
Thank you.
Hey, that's just the nature of the beast. Remember they came out with that book, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus? That book did not even touch the surface of the issue. I think we're from entirely different solar systems sometimes.
Yeah, probably. Galaxy even.
Multiverse, we got lost.
Yeah, you gotta.
Squirrel.
Yeah, you just got to learn to make the differences work for you.
Error,
He's so
error.
gun shy. He's so
No, I mean,
gun shy because of his last two girlfriends cheating on him. He's like, Mom, I just don't know if I want to do it again. I was like, this is too early for you to quit. You just started.
You should let him know he is not going to have a choice in the matter.
I'm like, you just started talking to girls. You ain't even got a real good heartbreak yet.
The girl before my wife, we were talking about getting married, and she said, the only thing I want is I want to stay a virgin till we get married, and I need you to respect that. And I did. And when I was in combat training, I got a letter. Changed my mind about staying a virgin. Sorry you weren't here.
Oh my God.
Really? Oh, what?
That's harsh as
Oh.
hell.
Hard.
Golly.
Now, I don't know if that was a breakup letter. I mean, I took it as such.
Well, yeah,
That's a
But,
Jody letter.
that's definitely one of those I catch you on the flip side thing.
And when I saw my wife, I was like, I am not going near that girl because I'm going to end up married to her. And at the time, that thought terrified me. But and it is a very one-sided relationship. She knows who is in control, because when you
Dude.
propose on the first date, you just that was like just raising the white flag at that point. Just go ahead, do whatever you want with me. I'm good.
Oh, sorry.
Right?
But we do make the differences work. She likes to save, I like to spend. And she goes, do you need
It's
money?
supposed
No,
to be
you
the
keep-
other
you
way
keep-
around. You know that.
Yeah, we got that part backwards, but it's like I had to ask her for money to go on this retreat weekend. And she looked at me. I said, listen, I pay 90% of the bills. And you're always saying, do you need money? And I'm always telling you no. And I'm the one that always runs short. And I do that on purpose because I don't save. I'm not good at that. That is not my thing. And so I know if I'm running short and because I'm covering stuff, she is not out spending the money on something. She's putting it in the bank.
Right.
So the day we do need it, it's there. So I do not get upset that I'm paying most of the bills because that is by choice.
Yeah.
And she doesn't get upset when I say, hey, I need $100 or I need $50 or I need, $1,000, whatever the case may be. She doesn't get upset by that, in the same vein. But when we do need something big, it's like pulling teeth to get her to go along with. We had to buy a new refrigerator, and it was like months and months and months and until I finally said I bought the refrigerator. And the same thing with the living room. She wanted the living room furniture in the worst way, but every time she looked at the price on it, she changed her mind. I find, we went in the furniture store. She went to the restroom. I filled out the paperwork for financing. And she came back and I said, I bought the furniture. And now that money comes out of her checking account every month because I got the deal. It'll be paid off in 10 months and we won't have any interest.
Right.
Because she was like, well, we should just pay it off because I have the money. I said, yeah, no, we're going
I
to,
built your credit a little bit as you do it that way.
no, it's not even that. I mean, we're only getting like, 2.5% interest on it anyway, but I can use that 2.5% more than, Bob's Discount Furniture can,
Yeah.
which is my attitude on it. But well, I did the retreat this past weekend.
How was that?
Friday was pretty good. I drove down with Steve and we got stuck in traffic for about an hour. But I was okay. It was a Friday night. Bonfire was nice. Saturday, nice breakfast. We went out to the Pocono Adventure, whatever it is, and got the 4-wheel ATVs and did the trail ride and the obstacle course. And
That was fun.
yeah, I got video of it on my thing. If you want to see the pictures, I'll put the link back in there again.
I
All the
did
pictures
it.
are
It was fun.
I got one that looks like piece of video. It looks like the thing is rolling over.
Oh Lord.
And my wife said, you don't need to be going out with these guys. You need to find, the old man retreat, because you cannot hang with 30 and 40-year-olds anymore. And she is almost right. I'm not quite there yet, but Saturday, yeah, we did that on Saturday. We went out, we had lunch, we did some shopping, and on the bonfire Saturday, I was walking around the back to go into the house and just kind of face planted. I'm not that steady, and I tripped and there was no holding myself up. I just went down like a sack of bricks. But that was like that was the worst thing that happened all weekend. So I could live with it. I was more embarrassed than anything. But laying there on the ground and I hear, you okay? I'm good. Just give me a minute or two and I'll get up. And they were like, no, you're not getting up. We're coming over. Just stay right there. It's like, okay. Didn't even fight it much. But it was good. It was good. I think I needed it. I know a few of the other guys there needed it. I was looking at the pictures I took and I realized I did not take a whole lot of pictures. And usually anything like this, I have a tendency to stay near the outside and take pictures and not get fully involved. And this time I think I got a lot more involved, and so I didn't get a lot of pictures.
Yeah, it's harder to stay on the outside when you're involved.
But the ones I got are really good, so I'm happy with that at least. Well, see, the difference between me and a lot of these guys is their therapy is to go get drunk, mine is to go out and take pictures.
Not all of us go out to get drunk. Thank you very much.
No, that seems to be a common theme a lot of the time now. And it was interesting because we had a couple of guys that no longer drink. And so there was a lot of fake beer this weekend.
Well, that's good, though.
O'Doul's.
No, it wasn't O'Doul's. What the heck was it? I think Guinness makes a fake beer.
I gotta jump off. I love you guys. I just wanted to stop in for my lunch break.
Well, it was good to hear from you.
Yeah,
It's been too
You
long.
it's a good day.
Yeah, have a great one.
You too. Stay safe.
You too.
Yeah.
Bye.
This was a good night. We had a few people pop in that we don't normally get to see.
Austin was in for about 2 minutes.
Yeah, he's always in and out. Dan's got some stuff going on, so I don't think we're going to see him. I'm going to have to, maybe I'll give him a call tomorrow. Sean, I saw tonight. He came down to the church to get some soup, and we had a chance to talk a little bit.
Did you make the chowder or did you make the seafood?
I made chicken corn chowder
Okay.
and none left. And I made like a double recipe. I made literally 2 crock pots full, and none left.
Mhm.
All gone. My wife made a creamy vegetable thing, and same thing. Hers was done. My daughter made chicken tortellini with spinach, and I don't know how if any of that was left. And she made a beef soup, but it was real thick. It was almost a stew. And there was somebody brought in chicken vegetable. I don't think I have to make anything next week, but the week after I'm going to make something. I just don't know what yet. See, I don't mind a good soup.
No.
My wife's she's not big on soup at all. And then my daughter, she was like really surprised at the number of people that had been coming out to this. And she said, we may do it once a month year round and not just during Lent. I said, well, that'll be fun. She goes, looked at me. I said, cold soups for summer. You know, they make a cold cucumber soup, strawberry bisque. There's all kinds of cold soups you can make. for the
Strawberry
summer.
bisque. I'm writing it down.
Strawberry bisque. You know how they make they'll do tomato soup and maybe put sour cream in it.
Okay, yeah,
Strawberry biscuit, you put vanilla yogurt.
okay.
I haven't made that in a long time. If you go on a cruise, probably at least 2 or 3 nights they'll have a cold soup as an appetizer. So, strawberry bisque, gazpacho. I don't even remember them all. I remember the strawberry bisque because I really liked that. It's basically a strawberry smoothie in a bowl instead of a glass, but it's really good. Oh man, I am dying. I'm like almost falling asleep still. I don't know if my wife is right that I can't hang with the younger guys anymore, but I did manage to hang all weekend without passing out.
Like you
think
said, a
all-
lot of healing took place, so that's the main thing.
Yeah.
You being there, supporting everybody, that's important.
Well, I mean, I had a really good time. I mean, it was really good. I think I'm still maybe agonizing a little bit over selling my Glock. So I bought a air gun while I was there. I'm going to set up a little indoor range at home.
Right. Yeah. So you took it to a deal. You took it into a dealer.
No, not yet.
Okay.
I got a couple of dealers that are saying they could move it pretty quick because apparently it's popular. And in New Jersey now you have to go through a dealer to sell a gun.
Okay.
So there's no getting around that. Pennsylvania, you can just, you walk in. So I bought a Walther CP99 compact. And it's a BB gun. It's pretty high velocity, so that I can probably pick off a couple of the squirrels that are hanging around.
Fucking squirrels.
Squirrelisms.
I hate
They're
the little-
destructive, those little suckers.
I know. Bushy-tailed tree rats.
Yeah.
And you need like 6 of them to make a meal. So we may find out how many you need to make an appetizer before the month is
Only
out.
need 3 to make stew. Just saying.
I am just imagining people's faces when they want to know what kind of stew that was, and I tell them squirrel. I have never had it in a stew. I've had fried squirrel.
Yeah. I baked it. I might have fried it. I might have baked it. I'm not sure what I did with the thing.
Squirrel and a steak.
When in doubt, fry it.
Rotisserie.
I have already made the decision, however, that I will not be going after the raccoon. Because
The
that sucker
trash
is,
panda?
yeah, that sucker is big. I think if I shoot it with this gun, all I'm going to do is piss it off.
Where do you live in Wild Kingdom? Squirrels and raccoons. Wow.
It's a lot tamer now than it was when I was growing up here. I haven't seen any this year, but we've had coyotes.
Yeah.
My brother, when he before he got married, moved away, shot a fox. Had it stuffed, rabbit, squirrel, all kinds of birds, snakes. Obviously, the raccoon. They built across the street from us, but it used to be a swamp.
Okay.
And if you got a really good rain and things would start to flood, you would see snapping turtles the size of tires
Yeah.
crossing your yard.
No, thanks.
Yeah, you don't want to piss them off, especially if they're that big, because they'll take your hand off at the wrist.
The one
We have a
thing
nice
good about
wild turkey flock.
What?
We have a wild turkey flock here. Somebody a number of years ago raised some and let them loose. Now there must be 15 of them. And they cruise through the yard, eating up, stuff around the garden. Pretty nice.
Yeah, I don't think we have wild turkey around here. Do have a lot of doves.
Yep.
My wife likes them, so I wouldn't shoot them.
the
You know,
one
they-
good thing about growing up in Washington State. Didn't have to worry about shooting anything. Driving around, you'll just hit it with your fucking car, or it'll hit you.
Only if you're not fast enough.
No, speed makes no difference.
We did have some chickens running around for a little bit. Apparently, somebody moved out of state and they just left their chickens loose in the neighborhood.
Chicken stew.
No,
Chicken nugget.
it was in good shape. We had a friend that had chickens, so we caught it and gave it to them.
See, all you guys are doing is mentioning food. Turkey, I hear turkey bacon. You mention chicken, I hear chicken nuggets. The dove thing? Yeah, no. I don't hear food when I hear dove. Unless it's chocolate.
They do eat them, but my wife would be very upset.
They're a little bit dry. You got to put bacon on them. So yeah.
I don't remember. It's been so long since I've had a.
Yeah.
Anything's better with
My-
bacon.
Hey, my
Bacon and
chicken corn
ketchup.
chow. My chicken corn chowder starts out with a pound of bacon. But yeah, I'm thinking a little indoor target range. Just put it at the other end of my office space, and when I get bored or frustrated or whatever, I could just, pop a couple targets. I didn't get any targets. I guess I can print my own.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Only if I get caught. I mean,
Don't come downstairs, honey.
oh, not that. I meant like, putting people on the targets. You got to be careful. The Secret Service do not have a sense of humor.
Well, except for Steve. Steve had a sense of humor.
Maybe. I remember we did a weapons search out of a domestic violence complaint. and found all kinds of weapons and ammo and explosives. And the next day we were talking to the Secret Service because guy had all very nicely framed. I mean, not cheap frames, very nicely framed newspaper articles and magazine articles about presidents being shot, political assassinations. And I guess when the report hit the system, next day we got Secret Service agents coming down to inspect everything.
Damn red flags.
They stopped one of my students one night in a town here. And I don't know what reason they stopped him, but they searched him. He had a grenade on his person. So based on that, they decided they would search his apartment, and then they found the explosives.
Yeah, you know, if you're going to do stupid things, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck on, hold on. You said a grenade.
Yep. I don't know how he got it, but he had it. And then based on that, they were able to get a search warrant. I don't know what kind of explosives they found. And then last I heard, the judge, it's going back a ways, the judge had him sent for an evaluation.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. Especially if you really are crazy. He's back.
Hey, Austin.
He's still connected. There you go.
What's going on?
Just my glucose monitor came back online. Just a nice quiet night.
Fuck, after today, I need one.
Yeah, sometimes I think we all need one.
I was over at a buddy's place. We were discussing what we're going to do on his car for the car show next month. And yeah, he's got 5 dogs, and one of them is an American bully. Up until they took this dog on last year. He's been a good dog. He's very affectionate, but he's overly needy on his affection. Well, today when I was over there talking, all the dogs know me. They all come up and want attention, and I, make it a point to give each of them some attention. I get done petting him, and one of his oldest dog walks up, and she's a cocker. And so I stopped petting him and started petting her like I always do. Oh, he didn't like that, so he buried himself underneath my legs even further. Went to pet him again. And next thing I know, he snatched up the cocker and fuck. I had a full-blown dog fight right underneath my legs. Oh. Definitely not the way I saw the afternoon going. And a big eye-opener to how much power those fucking small dogs have. Holy shit. It took me and my buddy trying to manhandle the dog off. And finally, his wife brought up his taser, and he wound up having to shock the dog twice before it finally released.
Sometimes they're nastier than the big ones.
Yeah, and I felt bad about it because I know it's not my fault, but part of me felt like it was my fault because it happened when I was petting the dogs. But they also had this was the eye opener that this is the second time he's attacked this dog. So they're gonna have to try and find him a home or have him put down.
That's always rough.
Yeah.
I would be very upset if we had to put our dog down.
That's honestly
The cat,
the
not
hardest.
so much.
Oh, hell, the cat I would just shoot on sight. That's the hardest part for me the hardest thing I've ever had to do is actually when I've had to make that decision to put my dogs down.
So any good shows coming up?
I got the Speed and Custom show next month. If I can get the work done, make the money I need, I'll have my Jeep done. I'm gonna try and have it done by June, early July at the latest. We'll see if that happens. Got a lot of people talking about projects. The bike show is still bringing in business, which I'm really happy for because that was a huge gamble. But so far it's already proving it's going to be more profitable doing that bike show or doing bike shows, sticking more with the lowrider scene and the bike shows is going to probably bring me more business than trying to deal with the hot rodders and the rat rod guys. But now the big push is getting the Jeep done so I can start getting it out to some more modern shows. Because once I have the wheels on, that should be one of my prime money makers. And I'm still waiting to hear back from the wheel manufacturer. So I sent them emails, got a response back. Now I'm just waiting to hear back from my reply about possibly getting picked up as with a sponsorship deal by them. See if I can get this thing off the ground because my girlfriend we go in next Wednesday for the first ultrasound. And we'll find out if it's one or two.
Hmm.
All the signs right now is pointing to two.
Wow.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. That's one way of putting it.
Starting over with one at 47 is going to be a challenge enough. But twins is just going to make it, it's going to, I'm excited, but, at the same time, it's definitely, I'm going to be stressed the fuck out over the rest of this year. Making sure I make enough money to pay for stuff, to get what we're going to need. Get my shit paid off, start getting her stuff paid off, get my fucking ex-wife or my divorce finished, get my ex-wife fucking paid off. It's fun.
Twins. Wow.
Who knew the old man's pipe still worked?
Yeah. Long weekend. Still recuperating.
Yeah. Congratulations, dude. Congratulations, man. That's so cool.
I'm excited. You know, the weekend was rough. I mean, I heard about Dan's grandma on
Yeah.
Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
And
Thursday, I think.
I haven't heard back from him yet. I messaged him today trying to see how things are going, how he's doing. I sent him a text. I was planning on going and seeing my dad on Saturday, but decided not to because all three of my kids were going to be there, which I was excited about seeing all my kids. At the same time, I was nervous about it because my middle kid, my youngest son, you know, I'm not highest on his list of favorites. So I backed out from going down this weekend. One, I started feeling like shit, and I don't want to be around my granddaughter if I'm not feeling good. Her immune system is still too weak, and there's no reason to risk her getting sick and it being something I brought down. But I was talking with my dad last night. It sounds like he had a great visit with all three of his grandkids and 3 out of the 4 great grandkids. But it brought up a lot of, you could hear he was happy he got to see them, but at the same time he was sad because this is the first time he's seen all of them since his wife passed.
Yeah. Wow.
And she was the one who was the host.
Yep.
He was
Yeah. Grandma.
he did whatever he was asked. And you could just hear the sadness in his voice. It's been 3 years, but to him it's been a lifetime, but at the same time it's like it happened yesterday. And now we can see all the fun on the news today of it being the 20th anniversary of the invasion.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Doesn't feel like it's been that long. It's been 18 years ago, I was putting boots in Kuwait for the first time. So I went over in 2005, 19 fucking years ago. Wow. We were getting ready to cross the berm into Iraq.
You drove across in 05?
No, I was there in 04, and we drove up from what was it? The border camp or the border. The
Udari.
fob on the border was back then was Navstar.
Okay, so you guys were just north of Udari.
And then we drove up, did the mandatory rest at Scania, and then pushed north into up to Anaconda on day 2.
And they had you guys drive that?
Yeah, hell yeah. And soft top Humvees with
In
Kevlar
now,
vests and
you
seat
said
backs.
4 or 3?
4. This time in 2003, I was a prison guard, and I was watching the invasion on the news from the inmates' TVs.
Right. 20 years ago now, I was 101st invading. That's why I didn't know I thought from '04 on, they didn't do drive-in. I thought they did fly-in.
No, we were moving the entire brigade with all the assets. So I was for the first 2 weeks, we did nothing but round trips up to Balad and back, running convoy security and escorts. But yeah, our first April 1st, we crossed the berm we left Navstar to go up to Scania on April 1st. And then made it to Balad on April 2nd and just turned and burned. I want to say 10 more times to finally get all of our brigade assets up there.
See,
That was a lot.
we
That was a long
convoyed
couple
from
weeks.
we convoyed from Mosul down to Kuwait Harbor to do port operations for the entire division. We took, oh God, it was horrible convoy. That was February 03 or February 04 when we came home, because I got back to Campbell in March. Then we turned and burned and went to Jacksonville, Florida to receive all our aircraft and equipment. But I thought they flew when I went back in 05 for my second tour. We flew from Kuwait into Anaconda. We didn't drive at all. All
Yeah,
vehicles and everything were there.
My second trip up to when I went to Kirkuk was we flew in, and that was such a fun landing.
You're up, man, you're down.
Yeah, and we had a second lieutenant who he's airborne. He knows what's going on, and he started at the jump seat right at the door, and by the time we landed, he was on the back ramp of the fucking bird.
Oh, those are so fun to watch.
Oh, we watched him fucking float up and then float back. It was so fucking hilarious. And then he tried to jump our ass because we were making fun of his dumb ass for not wearing his fucking flat belt.
My first tour, we did the sandbags on the floorboards. Yeah, armor, there was no such thing. My second tour, we got an up armored deuce and a half. It was left by the company that we replaced. That was my first and only experience in up armor. I rode in it 3 times to go from the Army side of Balad to the Air Force side to go watch a movie and go to the doctors.
See, when I was in Balad, you remember where the pool was, the indoor pool?
That's the opposite side from where I was at, yeah.
Yeah, our building was in between the indoor pool and the fence line was where our buildings were that we occupied in 04.
You know, the opposite side of the airfield that had the only double hardened aircraft shelter?
You mean the one that didn't have giant holes in them?
Yeah, it was
dirt?
the only one that was still intact. Exactly opposite the tower.
Vaguely. I didn't get over to that side of the base much.
Oh, well, so you know where the burn pit was?
Yeah.
If you went exact opposite corner of the airfield, that's where my hangar was. every morning when we would hang the the flags, because we had dual hardened aircraft shelters, the burn pit smoke was on the opposite side of the flight line, right between the flagpoles.
Yeah, the burn pit was such a fun place.
See, I never went
left
in it.
It always left a nice little haze. It just drifted across the airfield over on Dark Side.
Oh, what are you talking about drifted? It made a fucking donut. We were the aviation maintenance company. We always went up on test flights that stayed on the airfield, just hovering above it. And we got to see the black ring of smoke and take photographs of this shit. Because it literally made a question mark over the airfield. But it's black smoke. It's what we know we're not supposed to be anywhere near.
Well, it's what we know now.
No, not now. That black smoke is the same black smoke that historically it's toxic, caustic, corrosive chemical smoke. It's, yeah. I was the technical transport hazmat, the EPA guy, your environmental quality officer, all of those. That's the smoke that we're all supposed to run from. That's the shit that will go straight through your mop suit, straight through your gas bag. It don't care. It will kill you. They've known it the whole time. Sorry, that's a very touchy topic with me right now.
I think so.
And it's one of those governmental topics, so we can't talk about that. Right, moderator? Or do you fall asleep?
Oh, he probably fell asleep, but that's rude to point it out. Way to be a dick.
Bruno.
And Bruno.
Yeah, I'm losing it.
I'm thinking his blood sugar's going up again.
No.
I can tell you exactly what it is. I just put a new sensor in, and that
If it
just
says
came
3,
online about
that's
10 minutes
bad.
ago. It's been worse.
Doesn't mean it's good.
235.
Is that good?
No. Anything over about 180 is not good. It was lower with the old sensor, but I think that went bad. We'll just do a little correction.
I don't think Sharpie's the way to go.
Nope. Half a unit of insulin.
So insulin brings it down. Candy takes it up.
Yep.
Well, you
Yeah.
guys have fun. I see my girlfriend's kid walking out, so time to drive back home.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna call it. If you guys want to talk, I can throw somebody moderator. But
No, I could sign out. I'll just
all
read
right, I
notes.
guess. See everybody on Friday.
Yep. Jeremy, take
All
care.
right.
Bruno,
Have a good one.
you too, man.
Take care, gentlemen.